Hello and welcome everyone to the April 2025 version of our monthly economic webinar hosted by Kingdom Focus Financial. Myself, Derek Malden, Michael Smith, and Chuck Etzweiler here with you today. And we're going to talk about our next letter in our acronym of POWER this year. Take it away.
Yeah, Derek, super excited for this month. If you're worried about the market and where it's at right now, go watch some of the previous podcasts over the past month just to stay up to date. But we feel like we're kind of in a normal cycle, and I talk about it in some others. Today, we're going to focus in on the next leg of our power theme for this year. And I am super excited because to me, this is the stuff that helps people get better, right? I mean, Chuck, we're going to talk about the O, and I don't want to steal your details before we get into it, but I love looking at this stuff where we're making improvements and we're focusing in on things that really can enhance our lives as people and how it plays into the investment mix that we're focusing in on in our portfolios this year. So let me just welcome. I mean, I know April is one of your favorite months. Easter's coming up on the 20th. Spring's starting to show itself here during the day, not at night yet. And I'd like for it to show up at night, keep us out of the 30s if possible. But tell us what's on tap with as we dive into for 2025 and how that's playing into our thought processes this year.
Be more than happy to, Michael. By the way, great to be with you and certainly Derek and also our trusted clients and investors. I'm extremely excited about the O. The O stands for oncology, which we're going to get into. If I had my druthers, Michael, I probably would have used the letter B because it's biotechnology, but oncology is leading the way. So I'm going to just give you a couple of statistics. And I'm going to say this up front. Probably everybody who's watching this has either had cancer themselves, meaning diagnosed with, or has a family or a friend that has been diagnosed with it. Just some statistics, Michael. 1 in 2 people will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. The Institute of Medicine estimates that $25.2 trillion is the cost of battle cancer going out through 2050. It is the second deadliest killer, but quite frankly, it could be on the brink of a revolution. And this revolution comes in 2 forms. It comes through advances in diagnosing, but also treating cancer. The other interesting statistic that we found, Michael, when we were looking at this area for investment opportunity is the United Nations estimates that by the year 2050, this is just fascinating, that there will be 2.5 billion people over the age of 60. So they're going to grow by 2.5x. Now, why is that important? 70% of the diagnoses of cancer are made from people over the age of 60. We're going to see this huge, if you will, influx of growth in that demographic and this revolution that's going on inside the medical field. If you think about 4 sleeves, Michael, of therapeutics, so we'll call the treatment of cancer oncology. Number 2 would be neurology, which would certainly undertake areas that we also focus on inside the portfolio, which would be Alzheimer's, dementia, just mental health in general. And then the 3rd sleeve is infectious diseases. And the last one, of course, cardiometabolic. If you were to look at a chart, Michael and Derek, and you look at actually when a drug goes through the pipeline at the FDA, those that are battling cancer actually have a twice as much opportunistic through the FDA to be approved than do those drugs in the other areas. And I think that the FDA, certainly the medical field, realizes that, my goodness, if 1 in 2 people are going to be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetimes, it's going to cost $25.2 trillion to treat it. That not only experimental drugs, but drugs that actually help people when they have cancer to live much longer, prosperous lives, still being diagnosed with it. So as we tee this up, we speak to always, okay, so what does this mean for the investing field, right? What are the opportunities here? And if you actually take a step back, and I can kind of hopefully explain this to our viewers and listeners, you have 11 sectors inside the investment industry. You have technology, you have financials, energy, and you have, broadly speaking, healthcare. So healthcare would undertake companies that are actually in business to run a hospital or be a health maintenance organization. You have large pharmaceuticals, you have also medical devices, but you have a subsector called biotechnology. And biotechnology is kind of this combination of tech, but also healthcare and coming under one umbrella. And interestingly enough, Michael, if you were to take a look at this sub industry, it has what I call fits and starts. I mean, it's an industry where either they're spending a lot of money in research and development and trying to find literally the cure for cancer, putting that through the FDA and hoping that the drug will be approved. And once it is, it can then be sent out into the general public. And hopefully, as you said, doing really good and doing great things for people and their longevity. If you were to look at a set of cycles, Michael, so you go back 25 years, and we've had 4 of these fits and starts. So again, what is it? Think about this. You have biotechnology companies in the research and development phase pouring money into drugs that hopefully will be the cure for cancer. And we had one in 2001. We had one in 2008. We had one in 2015. And we also have this most recent one that began in 2021. So what we did, guys, is we went back and looked at these cycles. So when companies are expensing money, on developing drugs, certainly their profitability is limited. And you actually see these companies with subpar results as compared to the rest of the market. So that would warrant in clients' portfolios an underweight the healthcare stocks. And if we look at the 01, the 08, and the 2015 cycle, they last between 9 to 12 months, where biotech stocks greatly underperform the overall market. So it would behoove us as investment managers to underweight that sector. But all of a sudden, you almost see a V-shaped recovery where once the drug or set of drugs gets through the pipeline, we begin to see these companies now able to generate revenue and ultimately profitability. Their stock prices rise. And the longevity on the outperformance is typically twice as long as the period of underperformance. So if they underperform for a year, that cycle goes out 2 more years for this profitability. Here's the key, Michael. If you look at the last 3 years, so you actually go from the 2021 peak, think of companies, right, developing the vaccine to battle COVID-19, spending a lot of money, but all of a sudden those got approved. We have a new cycle that is focusing on oncology, cardiometabolic disease. That's gone from 2021 all the way up to 2024. It's been 33 months or nearly 3 years of this underperformance. Healthcare stocks, biotechnology has underperformed. Now, here's the key, Michael, and you notice because we looked at this in our investment committee. If we actually look at the previous cycles, and if that outperformance grows at twice as long in length of time, that if we've had a 3-year underperformance, this may very well be a 4 to 5 or 6 year cycle where biotech stocks, healthcare broadly speaking in general, has greatly underperformed. Now, hopefully, outperformance is going to happen here over the next several years. So we're really excited about this, right? The ability to make money, but also to do good in our clients' portfolios as well.
Yeah, and to me, in normal terms, I mean, healthcare goes through cycles all the time. It's not like they start and stop these pieces. It's just a matter of what is most visible during certain periods, right? So you think about healthcare, we've had them in our portfolios in some way over the years. I mean, usage and care became a highlight during the COVID piece, right? And then all of a sudden, quickly, the lack of equipment, right? And so then you get into that. Well, the research part is always ongoing. And how rapidly that cycle happened in the pandemic, it highlighted that, I think, in the normalcy of the news for people to kind of see the different components. But I mean, also coming out of that, the news, the lab in China, well, things like that, that research lab, they exist all over the world. And now, post-pandemic, the dollars that were pumped into there and the research, couple that with AI and technological advances that are enabling them to get to results faster, quicker. I mean, I see a surge coming of potential things. And yeah, you highlighted cancer in here, but we could name off dozens of ailments that for many, many years have escaped our ability to treat or cure. And it's very possible that some of those things are coming down the road. What are your thoughts, Derek?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And with that, what comes next is more companies coming on board trying to help and solve the problem because they want to get in on the profits of that too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, to me, this is super exciting. Everyone know that we have the healthcare industry heavily highlighted in our portfolios currently. We're weighted a little bit more toward the research and biotech side now, but we do have exposure to other facets because it is a high demand product, if I can call it that, especially in the US markets, but worldwide. And I think that as part of our power theme for 2025, it will play a significant role in creating stability for us in performance as the market goes through its normal post-presidential election cycle. You've heard us talk about that. If you didn't, go back, watch my last two videos because it's highlighted there. And while you're watching those videos, just hit that subscribe button so that whenever we do these market updates, which is at least once a month, sometimes more, you'll get a notification that we put it out there, and you can take a couple of minutes of your time and, from our perspective, stay up to date on what's happening in the current markets. That's out. As we get ready to sign off and celebrate Easter, which for us and with our faith and our beliefs is a very important time of year. Do you have any final thoughts to share as we get ready to?
Final, absolutely. So I love what Derek said. If you go back and you look at a chart, you go back to 1974, you go run it all the way up to about 2014, they have this 40-year period. Single digits, these companies that were researching oncology came into the market. We call those IPOs, or initial public offerings. We have had in 2023, if you look back to 2 years, 35 companies. So there are businesses that want to come into the public sphere where we can actually buy their stock and hopefully run this wave, which I think is going to have not only a couple of years, but maybe almost a decade-long tail to it.
Awesome. All right. Hey, well, thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you found this helpful. Stay tuned because we're going to continue to unpack this market in this power theme that we have for this year as we look ahead to the next several months. But more importantly, I encourage you to take this month where we celebrate Easter and what it means in your life and for your family and your personal relationship with the Lord. So we hope that you're doing well. As always, you're welcome to call us if you have specific questions related to your portfolio and how it's doing. But we wish you a blessed Easter season, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.